How does a nation, locked behind an impenetrable wall of international sanctions and stripped of the very tools of modern industry, build a machine that the world's greatest scientific minds declared physically impossible? In the spring of 2026, a quiet revelation in Shenzhen shatters the multi-billion-dollar global semiconductor blockade, leaving Western analysts scrambling in the dark. How did engineers, deprived of Dutch lithography systems and South Korean memory monopolies, construct a chip that operates 3 times faster than anything they were allowed to buy? If you are ready to uncover the deep-seated mysteries of this invisible geopolitical war and explore the silent forces reshaping our global future, join our dear family by subscribing to World Future Technology and hitting the notification bell. The veil is about to rise. The heavy silence of the auditorium in Shenzhen is broken only by the low ambient hum of cooling fans. It is March 2026. Outside, a cool spring breeze sweeps through the neon-lit streets of China's technological capital. But inside this room, the air is thick with a different kind of tension. Beneath the sharp white glare of the stage lights, a single presenter steps forward. He does not gesture toward a massive server rack or point to a room filled with heavy rumbling hardware. Instead, he slowly extends his right hand. Resting in his open palm is a single compact card. This is the Atlas 350. Hidden beneath its sleek metallic casing lies the Ascend 950 PR chip, a piece of silicon that is about to rewrite the rules of global geopolitics. To look at it, the card seems almost ordinary, smaller than a standard hardcover book. Yet, as the presenter holds it aloft, the digital display behind him flashes a number that sends a physical shockwave through the crowd. 1.56 petaflops of computer power. To put that into perspective, this tiny piece of hardware, resting comfortably in a human hand, delivers 1.56 quadrillion calculations every single second. It is the raw computing muscle of 150 high-end gaming laptops packed into a single silent device. For the engineers and executives watching in the audience, and for the global intelligence agencies monitoring the broadcast, the sight of this card creates an immediate dizzying paradox. Across the ocean, in the glass towers of Silicon Valley and the quiet corridors of Washington, the reaction is not excitement, but sheer disbelief. This is a moment that World Future Technology has been tracking closely, because according to every semiconductor analyst, every trade expert, and every government advisor, this card is a physical impossibility. The global consensus was absolute. China did not possess the tools, the factories, or the supply chains to manufacture something this advanced. The extreme ultraviolet lithography machines required to etch such microscopic circuits are locked behind strict Western export controls. The specialized high-speed memory needed to feed such a powerful processor was completely off-limits. Yet the metal and silicon are real. The card is not a prototype or a render. It is humming with energy, ready for mass deployment. In the silence of the auditorium, the glowing blue indicator lights on the Atlas 350 reflect off the faces of the crowd, signaling the quiet collapse of a multi-billion-dollar blockade. The ceiling that was supposed to keep a rising superpower permanently in the technological dark has just been shattered. To truly understand how this single card shatters the global balance of power, one must look back into the shadows of the silent trade war setting this stage. In the quiet wood-paneled briefing rooms of Washington, a grave realization takes root. Artificial intelligence is no longer just a commercial tool. It is the ultimate geopolitical leverage. Under cold, fluorescent lights, policymakers sign decrees designed to choke off China's access to the future. With a stroke of a pen, an invisible iron curtain descends across the semiconductor world. The targets of this blockade are NVIDIA's crown jewels, the A100 and H100 processors. These chips are the raw fuel powering the neural networks of the West. By banning their sale to Chinese tech giants, Western strategists believe they can freeze China's AI development in its tracks, leaving its engineers stranded in an older technological era. But the global market is a fluid, untamed force. NVIDIA, facing the sudden loss of billions in revenue, engineers made a brilliant compromise: the H20 chip. It is a processor carefully designed to dance on the razor's edge of the law. The H20 is deliberately throttled, its speeds restricted, and its capacity capped just below the threshold of Washington's export limits. Western regulators look at this crippled chip and smile. They believe they have established the perfect ceiling, a permanent digital barrier that allows Chinese firms to perform basic everyday computing, but keeps them fundamentally incapable of training the next generation of frontier AI models. For months, this illusion of control defines the global tech landscape. A comfortable consensus forms among international analysts and research firms. World Future Technology observes how the prevailing narrative seems airtight. Without the legendary extreme ultraviolet lithography machines from ASML, and without the cutting-edge high-bandwidth memory controlled entirely by South Korea's SK Hynix and Samsung, China's domestic factories are simply trapped. They are running older, less precise machines that waste more silicon and produce slower chips. The physical walls of science and supply chains seem insurmountable. Yet as the West celebrates its seemingly permanent lead, a quiet storm is gathering on the other side of the wall. In the sealed clean rooms of Shenzhen, the sound of machinery never stops, and the engineers are no longer looking for a way over the barrier. They are preparing to tear down the wall itself. Inside the high-security, dust-free clean rooms of Huawei and SMIC, the air is pressurized and perfectly still. Engineers clad in head-to-toe white sterile suits move like ghosts through the soft yellow light of the lithography bays. This is the heart of a quiet rebellion. For years, the strategy was to find any way to acquire the tools of the West. But as the sanctions tighten and the doors of global trade slam shut one by one, a profound shift in mindset occurs. The leaders of China's silicon ambitions realize that the Western tech stack is no longer a ladder to the future. They decide to stop trying to unlock the cage, and instead they choose to walk away from it entirely. They are now abandoning the very foundations of how high-end chips have been built for decades. While the rest of the world remains obsessed with obtaining ASML's extreme ultraviolet EUV machines, tools so precise they can etch patterns smaller than a human virus, Huawei's engineers turn their attention to what they already have: the older, more common deep ultraviolet DUV lithography machines. On paper, using DUV to build a world-class AI chip is like trying to carve a diamond with a wooden mallet. It is considered inefficient, prone to errors, and physically limited. But here, in the silence of the clean room, they are not trying to copy NVIDIA's physical design. They are rethinking the architecture of the chip from the ground up. Instead of chasing the smallest transistor, they focus on how those transistors talk to one another. They begin to layer the silicon, stacking components in three-dimensional arrangements that the industry had previously dismissed as too complex for mass production. It is a fundamental pivot. If you cannot make the light more precise, you must make the design more resilient. They are building a new foundation, a silent architecture that does not rely on Western blueprints. Our dear viewers, take a moment to consider the sheer weight of this decision. Imagine being told you must build a modern skyscraper, but you are forbidden from using steel or modern cranes. Would you give up? Or would you find a way to make stone and timber perform miracles? This is the crossroads where the Chinese semiconductor industry stands today. As the first prototypes of the Ascend 950PR emerge from the manufacturing line, they represent more than just a product. They represent the birth of an independent digital world. The struggle is no longer about catching up. It is about creating a parallel reality. But even with a revolutionary chip design, a massive problem remains. A brain without blood cannot survive. And in the world of AI, that blood is memory. How do you feed a monster like the 950PR when the world's only memory suppliers have been ordered to starve it? This is where the story takes its most daring turn. For years, the global semiconductor market operates on an unshakable truth. If you want to build an artificial intelligence brain, you must buy its memory from South Korea. High bandwidth memory, or HBM, is the vital lifeline of any AI chip. Under heavy sanctions, South Korean giants SK Hynix and Samsung dominate this crucial space, leaving China's tech ambitions seemingly starved. Without HBM, even the most brilliant processor is nothing more than a supercar with an empty fuel tank. But behind closed doors, Chinese engineers decide to rewrite the physics of memory. They construct an entirely original memory standard from scratch, HiBL 1.0. This is not an adaptation of existing Western blueprints, but a completely independent memory architecture, packing a massive 112 gigabytes of capacity, running at a blazing 1.4 terabytes per second. It bypasses the global monopoly entirely, delivering a custom channel design specifically optimized to handle the unpredictable data pathways that large language models require. Yet having revolutionary memory on a single chip is only half the battle. To train the massive AI systems of tomorrow, you must link thousands of these chips to act as a single, titanic brain. Normally, as you scale up, precious computing power is lost to transmission delays. This is where the mechanical marvel known as the Lingus protocol steps onto the field. This connection system links multiple cards together at a staggering 2 terabytes per second. It creates an ultra-fast highway for data, allowing thousands of individual chips to communicate with near-zero latency. The moment this hardware stack goes live, a massive financial earthquake ripples through the tech industry. For years, domestic companies are forced to buy overpriced, deliberately slowed Western silicon. Now, they see an independent alternative that is nearly 3 times faster for the exact same price. Our dear viewers, could this sudden shift in the financial landscape of tech giants mark the beginning of a permanent decline for Silicon Valley's dominance? The migration is immediate. ByteDance reportedly commits a massive $5.6 billion to these new Ascend chips. Future technology monitors as order books overflow, with Huawei's AI chip revenue projected to skyrocket to $12 billion in 2026, a massive 60% leap in a single year. The economic foundation of the tech blockade is completely turning on its head. The hardware is ready, the money is flowing, but a towering shadow still looms ahead, the software wall that no one expects China to break. The ultimate battle for the future of artificial intelligence does not take place in the physical world of silicon and wire. It takes place in the invisible, silent realm of software. For all of NVIDIA's hardware brilliance, its most heavily guarded fortress is a programming layer known as CUDA. Created nearly 2 decades ago, CUDA was the universal language of modern AI development. Every revolutionary AI model on Earth, from OpenAI's GPT series to Google's Gemini, is written, trained, and optimized to run on CUDA. It is the connective tissue between the engineer's brain and the machine's processors, holding a near-total monopoly over the global tech community. Attempting to build a world-class AI system without CUDA is considered an act of utter madness. Swapping a chip is simple, but moving away from CUDA is a monumental hurdle. It is the technological equivalent of forcing an entire nation of drivers to overnight relearn how to drive on completely different roads, where every traffic light is reversed, every road sign is written in an ancient script, and the rules of physics themselves feel altered. Decades of developer habits, mathematical libraries, and specialized software shortcuts are deeply hard-coded into the CUDA ecosystem. For any company, abandoning this comfort zone means abandoning years of progress and starting completely from scratch. This immense software barrier is precisely why Western analysts remain intensely skeptical of China's rise. They watch Huawei's domestic software framework can the compute architecture for neural networks and openly dismiss its potential. Critics argue that CAN is an immature, buggy, and highly fragmented system, far from ready to handle the immense, crushing workload of a frontier AI model. World Future Technology observes the global consensus of the time. Even if China somehow produces competitive hardware, the immense software gap will keep its AI capabilities years behind the West. The prevailing belief is that no serious AI laboratory will ever voluntarily risk its multi-billion-dollar models on an unproven domestic framework. But this skepticism ignores a fundamental truth of survival. When a door is permanently locked, you do not stand outside waiting for it to open. You build a new door. Deep within the research labs of Beijing, a group of quiet software engineers are about to do the unthinkable. They are preparing to mount a silent assault on the CUDA fortress, and the weapon they are building will shock the entire global tech industry. On April 24, 2026, without a massive marketing campaign or high-profile press conferences, a quiet announcement shakes the digital landscape to its core. DeepSeek, a Chinese artificial intelligence laboratory, releases DeepSeek V4. It is not a minor incremental update. It is a gargantuan 1.6 trillion parameter frontier model equipped with a native context window of 1 million tokens. The sheer scale is staggering. The model can hold and process the equivalent of 8 full novels in its active working memory simultaneously. Yet, while tech enthusiasts marvel at these theoretical capabilities, software engineers around the globe quickly look under the hood to see how such a monster is being powered. What they find sends immediate shockwaves through Silicon Valley. There is not a single piece of NVIDIA hardware anywhere in the training stack. There is no CUDA. Instead, the brilliant team at DeepSeek has done what everyone declared impossible. For months, working in near total secrecy, they silently rewrite the core mathematical operations of the model from the ground up, ensuring they run natively on Huawei's Ascend hardware using the CAN framework. This is the ultimate codebreaker moment. It completely demolishes the legendary software moat that Western giants spent billions of dollars to build and protect. The system functions flawlessly, defying every skeptic who claimed a domestic, non-CUDA stack would collapse under the crushing computational weight of a trillion-parameter neural network. World future technology witnesses the unfolding of a new era, as Alibaba Cloud and Tencent Cloud immediately deployed DeepSeek V4 to their customers without a single day of delay or compatibility issues. The reality check is brutal and undeniable. For the first time in the history of computing, a world-class frontier-level artificial intelligence system is operating at a fraction of Western costs, completely independent of any Western components, licensing, or software. The dual-stack digital world is no longer a distant threat. It is a living, breathing reality, processing billions of requests every day on independent silicon. Jensen Huang, the visionary leader of NVIDIA, stands before a quiet room of investors and utters a sentence that marks the end of an era. His company has largely relinquished China's AI chip market to Huawei. It is a stark, public admission of a new reality. The $50 billion market that once belonged almost exclusively to American silicon has slipped away, replaced by a domestic giant that refused to bend. But the true weight of this moment goes far deeper than lost revenue. It represents a permanent architectural shift. As China's tech empires anchor their data centers to Huawei's platform, they are building a technological fortress with massive switching costs, cementing a structure that will define the next decade of infrastructure. The horizon is now deeply fractured. The dream of a single, unified global tech ecosystem is dead. In its place, two entirely separate, parallel digital universes operate on opposite sides of the Pacific. On one side, Western artificial intelligence thrives on NVIDIA, Intel, and CUDA. On the other, a completely sovereign ecosystem runs on Huawei, HiBL, and CAN. They speak different languages, use different memory architectures, and rely on entirely different supply chains. It is a divide that cannot be undone. This is the profound geopolitical echo of the semiconductor war. For years, the prevailing belief was that locking a competitor out of the room would freeze them in place. But the laws of pressure dictate a different outcome. By sealing the doors and cutting off the tools, the blockade did not stop China. It forced its engineers to build a far stronger, entirely self-reliant house. World future technology leaves you with a lingering, unsettling question as we peer into this new landscape. If the heavy hand of sanctions can push a country to build a fully independent, world-class AI ecosystem in under 2 years, what happens when other nations, fearing foreign reliance, decide to do the exact same thing? Is the age of a single interconnected global supply chain already over? The answers to these questions are being written right now in the silent humming server racks of data centers across the globe. As the screen fades to black, the light of two separate digital worlds continues to burn, casting long, unpredictable shadows into an uncertain future.